Hey, what's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video I'm going to be doing a track guide of Zolder. I'm going to be including the alternate version as well as the Grand Prix version. It just changes the last sector just a little bit. This track is a really amazing track, one of my favorites for sure. Really good places for passing, and it's really quick and it just requires confidence really for a lot of these corners. But without further ado, I'm going to be showing you a quick lap, an onboard, and then we're going to be doing a more of an in-depth guide showing you braking points and what I personally do to get a good lap time around here. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into this. So since we're using the alternate track layout here, we're going to be approaching turn 1 a little bit quicker than you normally would. But the braking points is pretty much still the same. So we just passed the 100-meter board there on the left. You can see right there on the left, the 100-meter board. We're going to be braking slightly after that. So you see how the wall kind of goes in there. You have the orange little strip of paint on the wall there. We're just going to be braking after that. So we're braking right around here. So it's pretty much after that. And going into turn 1 is really just about confidence. You need to be able to trust that the car is going to stick and turn the car in to turn 1. So I'm using a lot of track on the right, and if we just go forward a little bit here, you can see that's pretty much how close I'm getting to that wall on the right hand side. So that's really important that you get really close to that wall, as close as you can essentially, because then you can open up the corner, turn 1 just a lot easier. And you'll see that white there where the Coca-Cola sponsor ends and it turns to gray. That's my turn in point there. I'm peaking at about 60 and then I turn in, and you can see this is how close I'm getting to this curb on the inside here. I'm not completely on it. I'm not riding it. I'm just kissing this inside curb here. And that's pretty important because if you take too much of that, it will unsettle the car a lot, and you want to be able to get on the gas really soon. It's hard to do that the more you take that curb because it's going to be really unstable. So you'll see here, I'm going on the gas already 100% here, and you can use this curb on the outside as well. You won't get an off track here, and this is pretty much as much as you can use, or then you'll be in the gravel. And then from here, bring the car all the way back to the left, and then if we go back a little bit here, you'll see when the pit entry turns from like the white to the kind of worn out gray. It's very difficult to see. Another brake marker you can use is when the gravel starts on the left, just before that. That's when I'm starting to brake and downshift as well, and I'm turning in. I'm just turning the car in, and you'll meet the curb right here. It's pretty much a late apex, and then I'm just kissing the curb and using all the track on the left. So we're just kissing the curb, going out to the left, and then swinging it back into the right so we can keep a nice tight line here. And then this will lead us all the way down into turn 4. Now turn 4 is another one of those corners where you just need confidence to take this corner, and you can brake really late and use the throttle to turn the car in. So we're gonna play this in slow motion, and then we'll go back and break it down. So I'm braking right there at that little grass spot, turning the car in, 3rd gear, and it's just a nice straight throttle up, and you can use a bit of the gravel there on the left. You have to be very careful because past that white line will be an off track, but you can use a little bit of gravel there, and it won't really affect your lap time too much, but just be very careful. This time around I was very lucky here, but you'll find yourself going out in this gravel a lot once you do this corner more and more. So let's break this down a little bit more so you can just see braking points and things like that. So you'll see here, the tarmac sort of opens up there in that runoff, and then it kind of comes back. So right here is when I'm braking, right when the grass kind of comes back at that angle, that's when I'm braking, and immediately I'm turning in. So immediately I'm turning the car in, shift down to third gear. And this is with the Ferrari, so it might be a little bit different with other GT3 cars. And you can see the rumble strip on the inside. That's where you want to apex. In iRacing, this rumble strip is a little bit lethal, so you don't want to really use that. It will definitely unsettle the car, but you definitely need to be on top of the curb on the right because it's not too bad. And then we're going to kiss the curb, late apex, same thing, bring the car out to the track, and you're really going to be carrying, you're carrying good speed when you run out in the gravel over here, and you just need to slow it down a little bit more until you're kind of in that safer area on the tarmac. But again, you're going to be going out on this gravel here. It's perfectly okay. You just don't want to go too far where you either go off track completely or you get an off track. And then this is going to be a straight here, a really good opportunity going down into turn 5, the chicanes. You can brake really late here. This is the 100 meter board right up there. You'll see that there's a little bit of dirt on the track here. So far, what I've seen is in all track conditions, this dirt exists. Because kind of a rule of thumb is you don't want to use a reference point that's going to change over time, such as a shadow. But in iRacing, I've seen that this dirt has pretty much been here all the time. So this is a pretty good reference point. Or you can brake just slightly after the 100 meter board here. So you'll see I'm braking after the 100 meter board here. And this chicane is pretty tricky. The way that I go through here and what I've found to seem to work is you'll see there's a flat part of the curb on the first apex. I try to hit that. You don't really want to take too much curb on the first apex, but the second one is really where I'm really mounting the apex here. And this is really how you can gain time here by using more of the second apex and less of the first, because if you use both of them, it's really going to unsettle the car. You can try to get away with it. It can work, but ideally, this is just what I do on this corner here. So we'll play in slow motion, braking quite after the 100 meter board, as close as you can to the right. Turn in, flat part of the curb, doesn't unsettle the car, a lot of curb on the right. And you can see the car is kind of all over the place. It is very unstable when you're pushing the limit here. Ideally, you don't want to get that snap of oversteer. Going into here, you can say oversteer. I had to correct it. And then I fix it and then back on here. Could have been a little bit quicker, but it's really tricky with this inside curb here. And you'll see there, we have those white sausage curbs. What I found is the kind of trend with this track is if you go a little bit more than halfway on any of the white sausage curbs, that's going to be an off track. So just keep that in mind. You really want to aim for the end of this white sausage curb. And then for this one, this curb here, you can really go in the middle of them just like this. But any more than that right there is going to be an off track, and it's really going to unsettle the car. So yeah, focus on the second apex. The second curb for this chicane is really important because that's what's going to lead you onto the straight. We'll watch it again. A little bit of the first curb, and then the second one is really where we mount that. And that's going to lead us on to turn 6, and then the chicane here, which doesn't have a number, but it's a name. And we'll go here through this corner here. And pretty much we're going to be braking in a straight line. And you'll see up ahead that I think we passed the brake marker. Actually, yeah, we did pass the brake marker. So you'll see here, once the white line turns from white to that kind of worn down white, that's when I'm braking. Another good brake marker is once the car is completely straight, boom, car is completely straight, that's when I'm going on the brakes. And that's another good brake marker because the track is turning, car straight, boom, you're going to go on the brakes here. And this is a pretty hard brake zone. I'm braking pretty hard here. And then you won't gain too much time from using this curb on the left, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. You're going to just turn more than you need to. Just keep it straight here. And again, same thing with this curb on the inside. You want to just use half of these little white sausage curbs there on the inside. Any more than that, it's going to be an off track. You might be able to get away with a little bit more curb on the inside here. But again, be careful with the off tracks here. So we're going to be using curb on the inside there. And I'm just dabbing the brakes just a little bit to get the car under balance here. And then here, it's the same thing. Just going to be using a lot of curb on the left. I'm just going to be taking a little bit more of a late apex here because the next corner is going to be a right-hander. So we'll back it up and watch that in slow motion again. to go in here on the brakes, release of the brakes slowly, use curb on the right, curb on the left, and then that's pretty much it for the chicanes. And then for turn 7, you're not going to gain too much time again from going to the left and swinging back to the right. You just want to keep a straight line here. We're just going to attack this curb here. Again, same thing with these white sausage curbs. This is as much as you can use. A little bit more than this, you'll get an off track, but I'm just straight lining. I'm just going straight to the curb here, straight to the curb, as much curb as you can, because you can, you know, tighten the radius of the track. And then from here, I'm holding it in second gear. I'm not going full throttle until the end of the curb, because if you go full throttle any sooner, you're going to wash out wide. So just be the key to this corner here is patience. You're going to have patience, boom, on the throttle, and then you're going to be able to take it out wide to this curb over here. So we'll just watch that again. Let's watch this again from the start. Braking once the car straightens out, keeping tight to the left, but not too much curb. Taking nice curb on the inside here. Here we're going to be taking a late apex, same thing with the curb, and we're just going to be going straight to turn 7 and keeping it tight. Patience on the throttle, 100% right there, and then bring it out to the curb. That's pretty much what I found to be the fastest way around here. You might be able to change your line just a little bit to gain more time. Fool around with the lines and the braking points, things like that. And then that next corner there is flat out, just completely flat out. Take a nice tight line through there, just like I did there. Going down to turn 8, which it's kind of a hairpin, but it's not a hairpin. But when you drive it definitely feels like a hairpin. The hardest braking zone on the track. We're going to be braking at the 100 meter board. Any later than that, and you'll be quite far out from where you want to be. So braking at the 100 meter board, I'm getting really close to the track on the left, and we're going to be getting a mid apex here. So I'm apexing right here. So it's pretty much a mid apex. I've tried with getting really late apexes, but you lose so much time on entry. So we're just going to be getting a mid apex here, and the track kind of dips in a little bit. So you can kind of use that to pull yourself through the corner. And if we look at the throttle here, I'm peaking quite high, but the throttle is a nice gradual throttle, and you want to get on the throttle really soon. So I'm peaking about 80%. Right here, I'm going on the throttle. Right when you're mid corner, go on the throttle there, slowly. And then once the car is towards the curb, you can use this curb on the outside as well. You can definitely use this. And then don't be afraid to be on this curb here. I stay on it a little bit more, use the curb on the right. And that's coming out of turn 8. That was turn 9. And then again, this is the alternate version of the track. I'll show you the regular version as well, just after this. But for the alternate version, it's a quick left and then a quick right. So what I found to be kind of reference points and lines here is you're going to see the 100 meter board there. We're not braking. We're just lifting slightly. Right after the 100 meter board is when I'm lifting. And one thing that I found that really helps me a lot is you'll see the orange painted at the end of that wall there. It's really important that you look at that and you just keep your eyes on that, because you're going to be turning the car and aiming for that. Now you can't get that close, and you will get an off track or even a slowdown, but you can pretty much take like this much of track there where the white line is. You can take a little bit more. But again, you're going to be carrying a little bit more slower speed, but you definitely can take more track there. But definitely keep your eye on that orange paint there. And that's a really good reference, because when you turn in, you know you're not going to be hitting it, but just by looking at it, you can really turn in nicely. And when you try it, you'll definitely see what I mean. Keep your eye on that orange, paint there, and that's a really good turn in marker as well. So you turn in, a little bit of track on the inside. The car is going to be all over the place. Again, this is really about confidence. What I would say is go through this corner, lift fully, and then slowly lift less and less and less until you can find that point. And I'll show you this in slow motion so you can see the telemetry. Lifting just a little bit, lifting, and then back on gas here. And you can use a little bit of this dirt on the right to kind of oversteer the car. You're essentially using the dirt to oversteer the car, to put the car in an oversteer so you can kind of turn a little bit more. It's really tricky to do and to explain as well. But going through here, the dirt will add a little bit of oversteer. Without that dirt, it's really hard. So you can use this dirt to turn the car a little bit more because it's slippery. Dirt puts in a little bit of an oversteer. You kind of saw that just a little bit there. I'll play it one more time so you can see it. The dirt will put the car in an oversteer, and that will line it up. Be careful with the wall on the left and the grass on the left as well. Pretty sketchy corner. And then you can gain maybe like a millisecond of time from just keeping to the left and not going all the way to the right so quickly. And that is going to be a lap of Zolder alternate. I'll show you the regular version with the last corner right now. So this is just Zolder, but with the normal last turn 10. So for the normal version, we're going to be braking at the right after the 100 meter board, slightly after the 100 meter board actually. So you can brake in the middle of the 100 and the Bio Racer sponsorship right up there. Braking, and you can see the alternate layout there right when it's kind of starting there on the left. That's when I'm turning in, using curb on the inside. You can definitely use a little bit more curb on the inside, and then we're going to be using a lot of curb on this next apex there as well. So we'll watch it again there. Use the white sausage curbs on the inside like we discussed earlier. Same thing on the right, a lot of track there on the right, and then we're just going to be opening up the throttle and use the track on the left, and that is going to be it. A lot slower than the alternate version. I prefer this version as well. We are doing the alternate version in the league I'm in, which is NARL. A little bit weird why we're doing that, but the regular version does open up a little bit more opportunity for passing, which is why I like it. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this track guide of Zolder. Put in the alternate version as well for those of you who are doing that, and the regular version. So hopefully that helped. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.